Hey, what's up, everybody? Outside today, it actually feels decent. It's been a hot summer, but it's not too bad right now. So, figured I'd take in some sunlight and go ahead and do a video while I'm at it. So, um, this one is going to be um, relatable, I believe. Basically, it's a reminder to step outside of your comfort zone because I know it is so easy to, stick in the same circles and the same habits that you've been doing. And that's not always to the betterment of who you are and who you want to be. Um, let's just face it. What's the saying? To do the same thing over and over again is the definition of insanity. Yeah, that's very applicable to the daily in and outs of your life. So if something's not working, or you're not happy, or um, you find yourself ruminating, things of that nature, examine what your schedule's like, examine what you're doing, examine what your average day, average week looks like, and try to step outside of what you consider a boundary. One of the things that I loved when I was in therapy was basically immersion therapy, taking the time to actively do something that you normally wouldn't do in the hopes of breaking the issue that you have with it. For me, everyone says I'm sociable and they don't believe me, but I get extremely nervous and anxiety ridden whenever it comes to new situations, new people, new areas, new places, like the whole nine yards. It's physically draining on me, and I know a lot of y'all can relate to that. And what I've been trying to do a little bit more frequently is take those steps outside of what I would normally do, which I'm a homebody. Let's just face it. I am. That's where I prefer to be. That's where I feel comfortable. But if I want to get out into the world, if I want to meet the people I want to meet, make new friends, if I want to eventually find a girlfriend, make her a fiance, make her a wife, there's no way I can do that from home. Sure, I can hop on an app, but eventually you got to meet IRL, right? So I've been taking steps to make sure I do something different to put myself out there. So, as a recommendation to anyone who's going through these circumstances or these feelings, one thing I will highly recommend is find an environment in which there is a common goal, in which there is something to do. That can be your spark of conversation. I, for one, just got back from a book sale, and I made it a little mental thing in my head to make sure I talked to 5 people throughout my shopping. And I did it. I actually talked to more than that because of the line that we were in. But it was something that I probably would not have done. I probably would have just put in my earbuds and just continued to go about my shopping and then got hopped in the car and left, typically. But I made sure that I took the time to speak to people, and not just surface level high type stuff. Like, well, the first person, I definitely did that too because I was a little nervous, but um, ask them about themselves, and diving into who they are. And that's why I talk about going into a area where everyone has a common interest or common goal. The first thing I was able to ask is, well, what did you pick up? What were you able to find? Anything you're looking for? And those were instant icebreakers that I was able to utilize, because otherwise it can seem awkward to try to force a conversation with someone that you don't know. But lo and behold, I was able to have multiple conversations. I got recommendations for things that were interesting to me, which was pretty cool. I guess I got to choose the right people. Well, we were in the same department, so I guess that makes sense as far as the genre of books. So I guess that lines up. But take the time to find something where there is that common goal, common interest. Beforehand, I was doing game nights. I was able to find that online locally, and you don't have to force conversation because you have a mutual goal of playing the game, whether it be cooperative or whether it be, versus. But taking those game nights, those board game nights, and being able to dive into, a room full of 30 people, I was able to feel a little bit more comfortable because even when things felt awkward, I could just focus on the game. You know what I mean? So I'm still taking these steps, and I just want you to know that you're not alone when you feel this way, when you have the anxiety, when you have the issues, when it comes to meeting new people and putting yourself out there, because there is a sense of vulnerability that it can't be explained. Like it's just hard to put yourself out there sometimes in a world where we're pretty divided, to be honest. Everyone's on edge. The last thing you want to do is put yourself out there and feel triggered, or vice versa, trigger someone else, if you have empathy. And best believe I never want to be that for anyone else, and I never want that to happen to me. It's going to happen. It's a part of life, but it's easier to hide away and try to completely eliminate the chances of that happening. Now, with this recommendation of immersion therapy and finding something with common interests, you can kind of limit that aspect, because at the end of the day, you and whoever else, the group or the person, have something to discuss, have something to talk about, something that is common between you and them. So today was great. Today was great. I was able to do what I wanted, which was go to the bookstore and find some awesome books, and also meet some people along the way. Didn't make any firm connections, unfortunately, but that being said, I am really proud that I was able to step outside my comfort zone, do something different than just sitting around the house, and take that step towards meeting somebody, or at least conversing with somebody. So, just a reminder to not stay complacent, to not just stay in your comfort zone, because there's a reason why it's called that. It's easy to do, and unfortunately, if everything is easy, you're probably not progressing. That's a good way of looking at it. Um, if you don't feel uncomfortable, you're probably a little complacent. Um, it's unfortunate that has to be said, but I'm saying it to myself as well. It's something that hopefully, I will continue to do and advance on, and make myself feel a little bit more normal, because most of the time I don't. Um, Most of the time, even when I'm not depressed, I still feel like I'm awkward, or I'm overthinking things, which God knows I do all the time. So this one's going to be short, but just want to remind yourselves to get outside your comfort zone, take that step forward, do something new. I, for one, have to schedule things, because if you tell me to do something spur of the moment, best believe it's just easy to say no. But I had this plan for weeks and realized, okay, this is a book sale. I'm gonna go. About a week ago, I decided that, hey, if I'm gonna go, I'm gonna make sure I talk to people, and I don't just do what I wanted to do, which was, put on a podcast and start shopping. So yeah, plan ahead. Don't make it such a spontaneous thing. It's easier to look forward to something, or to step outside your comfort zone, when it's not a complete and utter surprise to you. So yeah, don't be complacent. Step outside your comfort zone. Whenever you decide to do so, look into things that you have a common goal with other people, so that you're not having to force conversations, when you're not having to do the how's the weather today type of BS. You can actually have some common interest, common ground, a common goal, and that can be your buffer, if you will. So just, something I picked up via the recommendation for immersion therapy to break certain feelings and habits. So yeah, hopefully this helps you out. I'm gonna get back to this wonderful day, enjoy some more sunlight before it gets dark. But y'all take care. Know that you are loved. Know that you are special. Know that you are valued, even though you don't feel like it all the time. The world needs more of that. Be sure to reassure someone else. Pay it forward. Much love. Appreciate you. Bye.